Hey folks, welcome back, or of course, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot if this is your first visit here, but either way, thank you so much for choosing to join me for our Pick a Card reading today. Now, of course, my readings are always timeless. You can view them at any point from when they're published and into the future, but just know this is published Thanksgiving Day 2025, hence the topic of our reading, good news you'll be thankful for. So for everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving plus is watching this the day of, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. So without further ado, let us choose our pile leaders to choose the message with. We're actually choosing with 3 different tarot decks today. Over here on the left for pile number 1, your tarot deck today is the Wild Reflections Tarot. And here is your 9 of Pentacles from your deck. Beautiful. For pile number 2, you're choosing with the Shadowscapes Tarot today. And here is your 9 of Pentacles from your deck. And last but not least, for pile number 3 over here on the right, your tarot deck today is Tarot for the Great Outdoors. And here is your 9 of Pentacles, or as it's known in this deck, the 9 of Stones. So quick refresher, pile 1, Wild Reflections, pile 2, Shadowscapes, pile 3, Tarot for the Great Outdoors. Though, as I always say, you are 100% welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you. If you're new to Pick a Card readings and you want my suggestion, I always say take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask your spirit guides, please tell me the name of the pile you want me to choose. Sometimes they'll tell you through the name of the deck or card, etc. Or in my personal experience, my spirit guides tend to give me a number 1 through 3 or however many piles are in whatever Pick a Card reading I am watching. So you could also ask them, just please give me a number. All right. But whatever your method, when you are ready, drop down to the description box below, find the timestamp for your pile, and I will see you in our seasonally themed discussion about the good news your spirit guides want you to know that you will be thankful for. See you when you're reading, everyone. Hello there, my wonderful pile 1. Welcome to your good news you'll be thankful for reading today. And of course, as you recall, your pile leader was the Knight of Pentacles from the Wild Reflections Tarot. Now, as we always do when I choose with tarot decks as our pile leaders, I'm going to put your card right back into said deck so that it's available for the message if need be when we draw your tarot spread, which, speaking of, we'll do right now. So, of course, calling on Spirit for our wonderful pile 1 today. We want to know what good news they'll be thankful for that's coming their way. What do you want them to know about their blessings, things that are manifesting soon, etc.? Thank you. Let's see. Big chunk of the deck almost came out, and then it didn't quite. Lots of cards are sticking out, though, so we'll draw those. Actually, I'm going to draw that one, too, because I wanted to come out with it. And we're actually going to draw this, too. Okay, so there are our 5 tarot cards to begin. Let's unveil them, and then we'll draw your oracle cards and weave the message together. So, first up from tarot, we have the Hierophant reversed. Okay, so I want to say right off the bat, pile 1, there's something about tradition changing, or something that feels like it's always been a certain way changing. That's part of the good news. Second up, we have the 10 of Wands reversed. Fantastic news to get. Releasing a burden of some sort. Then we have the 7 of Swords reversed. Okay, that one can be a bit more neutral. It really depends on the other cards around it, but it does tend to deal with revealing a deception of some sort or something becoming clearer, especially with other people. And then we have, okay, 3 of Pentacles. Speaking of other people, that's the card of teamwork. And last but not least, we have the Page of Swords, one of the court cards today. We have, it looks like an archer. Page of Swords is either someone that is young, possibly an air sign if it represents a person, or it can also represent a time in your life when you will be exploring something either logically or how to communicate something, anything that revolves around the element of air in tarot. Okay, so that's just a little glimpse of your tarot spread so far. Now let's draw your oracle cards and see what else pops out. So Spirit, anything else you want to say about this good news? More clarity for pile 1. Thank you. What else do you want them to know? Because I feel like a lot of you, especially because of that Hierophant reversed pile 1, that there's something you've wanted change in for a long time. That's that Hierophant reversed energy I was just talking about. Something that especially has been a burden on you because of the Ten of Wands energy, because both the Hierophant and the Ten of Wands in your spread represent what I call like the inciting incident and like the recent past cards. So that's energy that's kind of leading into this good news, or like what's about to change. So that's specifically what Spirit is referring to. And then this one, I'm feeling calling. And I wonder if some of you, there's an element of other people being involved with this as well, especially because of the Seven of Swords and the Three of Pentacles having come out. As I said, Seven of Swords reversed can represent like revealing a deception or a trickery on someone else's part. Doesn't necessarily mean like a really bad, like big betrayal type thing. It's not quite like Ten of Swords energy, but at the same time, especially because you have the Three of Pentacles next to it, being the teamwork card, it's maybe too good news around like someone like you like wasn't going along with other people in a situation, and then finally like coming around and like, okay, we're gonna work on something together. Or that could be what is also releasing this burden, hence the Ten of Wands reversed, is that maybe someone is finally stepping up to help you. That's at least what I'm hearing intuitively. Okay, we're going to take this card right here. We're using the Cat Wisdom deck. I thought for a good news reading, cute little kittens would be great. So let's unveil those cards. So from the Cat Wisdom deck, we have the card of Safety. A little gray and white kitten in a basket, and it says, "What are you hiding from? The coast is clear. If you feel like you're wandering into unfamiliar territory, remember that there's no need to be scared. Life hands you more than you can manage." Or I'm sorry, life never hands you more than you can manage. Embrace this opportunity for growth and freedom. Maybe that's part of it too, because if this thing has been going like not the right way for a long time, or you've wanted it to change for a really long time with that Hierophant reversed energy, you might be kind of like this cat pile one, like hiding in a basket. Like, I don't know, is the coast clear yet? You know, is this thing that maybe I think is deceiving me? And maybe that's the deception pile number one, is it's not so much the deception of another person with the Seven of Swords reversed. It could mean that you feel like something is deceptive about a situation, like in the terms of, oh, is it too good to be true? That's kind of the phrase I keep hearing with this particular situation. Okay, let's keep looking at the other cards from Nature's Whispers. We have 23, you are worth it. Yeah, you know, it could also be too, pile one, where part of you is potentially afraid to approach this, and you might think it's deceptive, not just because you're afraid, like, you know, is the coast clear yet, but also because there might be an inherent feeling you have deep down of it's too good to be true because I'm not sure I'm worth this thing. Okay, so it might be a little bit of an advice reading in terms of self-esteem here on top of the blessing, but Spirit is saying, yes, you are worth it with that card pile, number one. Okay, let's keep looking from the Sacred Destiny. Ooh, we have Trust. I mean, lots of cards about coasts, and it's funny because I was just like, oh, this feeling of, oh, is the coast clear? Then we have the boat here in Trust. Trusting that we are worth it, trusting that this is something we can, sorry to be repetitive, but that we can trust. All right. And then, yeah, we have a boat in the coast here as well, and you are worth it. Let's see if we'll have more ocean imagery with this one. Nope. We have Reconnect, though. Okay, yeah, so I think there are other people definitely involved with this situation, pile one, because, as I said, Reconnect is big, trusting others is big here, and then you have the other people influence energy with the Seven of Swords, as I mentioned, the Three of Pentacles as well. For some of you, because of that Page of Swords here, which I'll just have peek above this card for a second. As I said when that card first came out, the Page of Swords can represent someone that is youthful in age physically. It can also represent someone that is youthful in energy, if not even necessarily their age, and tends to be an air sign, or in the situation, there's someone that is like the logical one, or someone who is the communicative, talkative one, or someone, sometimes Page of Swords can sometimes be people with like nervous energy too. So for those of you where you're finding like, oh, that resonates with someone in my situation that I recognize with something that I want to change here, that's kind of been the same for a while, this is who Spirit is talking about with that Page of Swords. Although I also said too, sometimes the Page of Swords isn't a person. It can also represent the energy of like your own influence in a situation with the court cards. So pages are the influence of something to be explored or something to be learned, because they are kind of the students of tarot. They're brand new to things. They're just starting out with things. So that combined with the air energy, pile 1, can mean a situation that eventually leads to room for you to explore something more in terms of like your communication with it, or something more to explore in terms of like logically exploring options with it. Okay. Now, I know that sounds kind of weird because we haven't talked about all the other cards like in full detail yet, because you're probably like, well, what does that mean? What's going on here, pile 1, as I said, won't repeat it ad nauseum, but something that you wanted to change for a while has not been changing. Finally, that Hierophant reverses, though, with the inciting incident of this good news, and we find that that thing that's always seemed to be one way shifts around, it changes, okay? Then we start seeing this energy with the Ten of Wands reversed of, okay, now the burden is being released, okay? Because the Ten of Wands is, reversed at least, is a sigh of relief kind of card. Like, oh, God, I don't have this weighing on me anymore. And what that leads to, pile 1, is, I think for you, the good news, if I had to really put it in like one little kernel of truth here, the good news is that something that you thought was deceptive, potentially with this young air energy person, if not, like if you're recognizing who this is not actually the deception, or is not giving the deceptive energy that you think that they are. Okay, so the good news in that case, pile number 1, would be, oh God, they aren't fooling me. I can trust this person. I can reconnect with this person. It is safe. I am worth it, or like they think I am worth it, okay? Some of you, that could maybe be like a relationship-related thing, both romantic or platonic. It could be, maybe a friend involved, or, if it's romantic, it could be, say you're not sure if you 100% were like trusting, like, for example, if you went on like a date with someone and you're, like, it went okay, but you're like, I'm not sure, is it too good to be true? Like, maybe because of bad past experiences painting your expectations. This basically would be a reading then of yes, or like, no, don't believe in those past expectations, pile number 1. You can trust this person, okay? Or yeah, same thing, even if it's not romantic, could also be like a family member you're reconnecting with. Speaking of the time of year being Thanksgiving, at least when this is published, okay? Reconnecting with people, or maybe, if you do watch this the day of Thanksgiving and you're celebrating Thanksgiving, pile 1, potentially maybe you're worried about Thanksgiving dinner because you might recognize who this person is with this youthful Page of Swords energy, and you're kind of like, I don't know if like, are things going to go wrong? Should I trust this person? Like, maybe you had a bit of a rift in the past. The Spirit is saying then for you, this good news is yes, you can trust that it will go well, because of the collaborative energy of the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is people working towards the same goal together, okay? So that's really the crux of what is holding up this good news for you, pile number 1, is people are going to work together. Or even if you don't, as I said, recognize this Page of Swords as a person in the situation, it could be that you have some sort of goal that you've been trying to find change on, or you're trying to like enact change on, but it hasn't been, like things have been the same way for a long time with that Hierophant energy. And then the good news in your case, if that's more how this reading resonates with you, would be tradition is broken with the Hierophant reversed. You'll release the burden of what was weighing on you trying to come forward with this goal because of the collaboration energy of other people that you thought maybe you couldn't rely on in the past, or you thought, can I trust these people? Are they actually going to come through for me to help me with this goal? The answer then, pile 1, for your good news, if that's your situation, is yes, they'll help you. And they're going to help you in a way where they'll collaborate with you in terms of exploring here. Hence that learning page energy, helping you explore how to communicate something, or like how to like think something, or logically like work around something. And I know it sounds vague, so one tangible example for example, pile number 1 would be, someone who mentors you. In which case, like, maybe you're the Page of Swords energy. You're the student to this person. And so that outcome is the Page of Swords would be like you becoming the Page of Swords, at least in this archetype. Okay. But yeah, just remember, all in all though, pile 1, If you have any doubt whatsoever of good things coming out of this situation, if you have any feeling of, I don't know, maybe it's too good to be true, or you're like, I don't know, is the coast really clear for this? Spirit is encouraging you to take a breath of relief, like the Ten of Wands reverse tells you. Yes, you can trust this situation. Yes, you are worth it. Okay, so if there's any little piece of advice, it's a blessing reading, but sometimes we get advice anyways. It would be to let go of the expectation of disappointment here, or to let go of the expectation of, will people not think I'm worth whatever it is that I am seeking? Okay, so that's a little bit of a nudge there from Spirit in terms of if that's resonating with you, that you might be struggling with that, really where self-esteem is possibly like the main thing that is causing you anxiety or worry, or just in general too, pile one, if recently you've been feeling like, oh, something's never going to change, I'm not going to get rid of this burden, like it's too good to be true for me to believe that this thing will turn out in a positive way. Spirit is saying that's deceptive. Trust and believe that the coast is clear. It's not too good to be true, and things will turn out fine with that particular situation. For some reason I'm hearing a message about, I think some of you might be seeking timing. For some reason, and I don't always do timing with my readings, but this particular message for your pile one is, I'm hearing, say something about timing, say something about timing. So I'm going to look at the tarot cards, and we're going to take a closer look at the timing. So let's see, we have 5, 10, 7, 3, and then the page is like a 11, so to speak, in tarot. So 2 3s, or I'm sorry, that would be 2, because 11 plus, yeah, okay. I want to say, if you're asking about timing on this, like, well, when is this thing going to turn around that I can trust, and then I'll realize that I will get the collaboration I'm looking for, or I will make progress on this thing that doesn't seem to have been changing. I want to say, I'm hearing January for a lot of you. Now, that might be different for everyone watching this at the time that they watch this particular reading, because on the day it's uploaded, or published, I should say, this reading is taking place in November of 2025. For those of you that are watching in the future, I would move that to like next January, okay? Because there is a lot of ones, especially with the page being like 11, so like 1, 1. But then we also do have, let's see, 23 with the Nature's Whispers, and we do have 3 here with the 3 of Pentacles, so maybe like 1 to 3, so like January to March or so. Okay, as I said, depending on when you are watching this. So it might be, if you're watching this at the time of publishing, a few months from now, but just be reassured, pile one, if it, like, some of you might be hearing this and be like, oh man, I wish it was happening sooner, and I 100% get that, pile one, but just because it isn't happening immediately doesn't mean that that way won't clear for you and that good thing isn't coming, okay? And I think that's why Spirit wanted me to tell you about the timing, even though I don't usually do timing too much on my pick a card readings, because I think they know that, like, with watching this reading, if you're expecting it to happen like bam within a week, you might get really disappointed and you might get disheartened. And so they wanted me to tell you the timing as like January, mostly to maybe March for some of you, because they want you to keep up your hope until then, until it does happen. Okay, so that's why, like I said, I don't usually do timing. And maybe you're disheartened by hearing that. Or maybe not. Maybe you're watching this in January and you're like, oh great, this is wonderful. But just keep up your hope until then. Keep up your trust until then. That's a really common theme with this reading as well. Just because you're waiting for it doesn't mean that it will never come. Okay, it's kind of like, almost like this girl sitting on the coast here in the Nature's Whispers looking out at the ship. Like, when is my ship gonna come in? When will the coast be clear, to use the phrase I was using before? Same thing too, you even have the boat here with trust. Like, when is my ship coming in? You know, that's might be kind of the question you've been asking yourself. And that's why Spirit wanted you to hear the timing. January to March. All right, so that is your good news reading for today. The good news you'll be thankful for, pile 1. I hope most of all that it helped you to hear this reading. That's what I care about with my readings, numero uno, but also that you liked it and it resonated with your situation. If so, here's my usual little YouTube spiel. You know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much if you choose to do any one of those 3 things, if not more. And as we say in our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about good news you will be thankful for. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the Shadowscapes Tarot for your pile leader today. Now, as we always do when we pick with tarot decks, I like to put your pile leader right back into said deck so that it's available for the message if need be. And speaking of your tarot spread, let's draw those cards right now. So let's call to Spirit for the highest, best good of pile number 2. We would like to know what good news you want them to hear that they'll be thankful for. Thank you so much. Okay, that one is quite prominent. I also will take this one. 4. And we're going to pick this one too. Let's unveil your tarot cards. We'll kind of explore them just a little bit. Then we'll grab your oracle cards, pile 2, and we'll weave the message together. So to begin, you received the King of Cups reversed. Interesting. Right off the bat, that is one of the court cards. Sometimes a court card in tarot can represent a person. Sometimes it can represent an energy that you bring to a situation. So we'll see what comes out in conjunction. Oh, another court card. We have the Page of Swords reversed. Okay, a few court cards reversed. Then we have the another court card. Apparently the court card pile today, pile 2. We have the Queen of Wands reversed. I almost wonder, I'm going to laugh if you have another court card, but I almost wonder if this is a situation, at least leading up to the point of good news, where there's been too many cooks in the kitchen regarding something. That, or it's a situation where you have been pulled in a million different directions, and maybe you're really confused on which way to go. It could include too many cooks in the kitchen, because sometimes when we have a situation where we're trying to figure out what to do, and we get a bunch of opinions from other people, we get too many quote-unquote cooks in the kitchen in our mind of like, okay, well, they made a good point, but then this person made a great point. What do I do? Where do I go? Okay. It can even be conflicting emotions or thoughts within ourselves. It doesn't necessarily have to involve other people, although, like I said, lots of court cards tends to mean sometimes that other people are involved with the situation. And then we have, okay, finally no court card. I can't talk today. Court card. We have the 7 of Cups. Ah, okay. Yeah, trying to figure out maybe a dream of some sort, or it's related to a dream that you have. Because the 7 of Cups is deciding, well, what do we really want? And then we have the 5 of Pentacles. Interesting as an outcome. So typically a 5 of Pentacles as an outcome would be a negative card, pile 2, because it tends to mean hardship or like financial problems. But this is a good news reading. Okay, so we're going to read it more in a positive light. So looking at this, at least in summary, and I'll draw your oracle cards where I'm talking about your tarot cards to save us some time. Yeah, like too many cooks in the kitchen, being pulled in a bunch of different directions, and specifically because of the energy of like the King of Cups pile 2. Combined with, then you have air with the Page of Swords, and then King of Cups is water, and then you have the Queen of Wands, which is fire. That can represent a situation where we've been pulled between what does our heart say, what does our mind say, and what do our ambitions say? Or, as I said, this could be people in the situation. You're being pulled between someone that's giving an emotional appeal, someone that's giving a logical appeal, and then someone's giving like a ambition-related appeal because of those elements in there. Your good news actually might be some advice. I'm hearing that maybe the best, if this is resonating with you, pile 2, where you're like, yes, that makes sense. There's a lot of people in the situation and that matches the people that are giving me different opinions or advice. Your advice is to probably go with the person that's giving the emotional appeal. because you do have the Seven of Cups right afterwards, and I see that as kind of like a elemental association because it's water, just like the King of Cups is. But let's look at your oracle cards too, because I'm really interested to see what else pops up. And yes, as I said, it's related to a dream of yours, hence the Seven of Cups energy. And I think it's related to a dream you have about overcoming a hardship that's been going on in your life, hence the Five of Pentacles, okay? Specifically could be related to career or finances because you do have that Pentacles energy there, but let's keep searching. This one for sure. Then we have the Nature's Whispers deck. You just feel very conflicted energetically with this situation, pile 2. So my condolences, because that's never a fun situation to be in when it's like your head, your heart, and your ambitions tearing you in different directions, or people that represent those energies doing the same. But the good news is you're getting a direction. You'll find clarity soon. And I think this reading is part of that good news pile too. So we also have the Cat Wisdom deck today. I thought it would be cute to use a cat deck for a good news reading. I'm actually going to pick this one right here. Oh, look at that. Well, speaking of other people being involved, we have Embracing Differences. So we'll read this one right here. We'll start with this oracle card. Looks like a kitten and a puppy. How cute. Do you sometimes feel like a square peg in a round hole, as though everyone around you is different to you? Try to look at your quirks and uniqueness from a more positive perspective. The diversity of our world is one of its most beautiful and intriguing features. Okay, so I think I might have been smack dab on with that feeling of like, are there too many cooks in the kitchen here? Because you have been a card of embracing differences. Maybe part of it too is you've been trying to get these people to get along. Pile 2, maybe it's like a work situation and you're like, come on, there's so many cooks in the kitchen here. Can't we just find like one aligned direction to go in? Or maybe, you know, say if you're in a management position, pile 2, and you're trying to get everybody on the same page. And it's like this employee over here is saying, well, let's do this. And then this employee over here is like, no, let's go this direction. That could be part of it as well. Let's see what other synchronicities come out. We have, release, which also makes me think, once again, of maybe the emotional peel is being like your best way forward. Because once again, we have that water imagery. And water in cartomancy tends to represent our emotions and our feelings. But letting something go. Then from Nature's Whispers, we have expansion number 12. Expansion. Maybe even going beyond what we think are the options we have. Okay, well, just in a moment here. Then from Sacred Destiny, we have New Beginnings. Interesting blend of cards. Whoa. Okay, so let me look at this for a moment. Pile 2. Apologies for just a little bit of silence. So, okay, to speak very generally, all right, because I know the situation with too many cooks in the kitchen might not apply to all of you that picked this pile. What Spirit is referring to with your cards today is a situation in your life where you feel pulled in many different directions regarding a dream that you have in mind, okay? And as I said, I think the different directions are, what does my heart tell me? What does my mind tell me? Or logic? Or what do my ambitions tell me? Because of that energy of the King of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Wands as your first 3 tarot cards. Now, some of you that might be, as I was saying, I think there might be, like, these actually represent people, these court cards, in which case the King of Cups would be older, tends to be maybe masculine energy person. Doesn't always necessarily mean a man. People have masculine and feminine energy in different spades, but generally, that's a King of Cups person. A Page of Swords would be a young, youthful air sign or like air energy person. So someone who might be kind of talkative, someone that's more on, you know, like the logical side of things. And then the Queen of Wands energy would be feminine energy, probably a fire sign, tends to be someone who is maybe towards like, I don't know, not super young, but maybe, you know, 30s to 40s or so is it technically, or I'm sorry, not 30s to 40s, that would be a knight. Queen of Wands would be more like maybe like 40s to 60s or so, something like that. So kind of getting into those particular year spans. Now, the fact that they're all reversed, pile too, and I think this is maybe what has been causing the conundrum, be it other people that are involved, or it could be the other facets of yourself that are pulling you in different directions with this dream. I think there's technically a flaw with every single perspective here. And that's probably why you felt really conflicted, because you're like, well, this person has a good point here, but then this thing over here doesn't make sense for what they're saying to do. Or, this person has this point, and that sounds great on this page, but on the next page, it's like, oh, I don't know. If you had to pick one, if you have to pick one of them, go with the person that has the emotional appeal, or if it's your own mind, go with the emotional direction that you have in mind, if it's like something that's conflicting within your own head and not other people, okay? And I know this sounds weird for a good news reading, because you're probably like, well, this sounds more like an advice reading. Yes, hear me out, pile number 2. You're like, well, where's the good news? I'm getting there. So basically, that's like spirit setting up the situation of like, this is where the good news is coming from. You do have progress coming. Okay, now, especially because we're reading the 5 of Pentacles as positive in a blessing reading like this, or a good news reading like this. The good news then is that once this obstacle is cleared and is released too, and I think that's part of the good news as well, pile 2, is that this conundrum right here, or these conflicting opinions, if it's other people, is going to be released, okay? There's a new beginning coming with this, where it's going to be like this kind of conflicting, really confusing chapter. Door closes, everything's let go of, a new beginning starts. You leave this in the past, and then you can kind of focus more on your own goals, or like what is it that is like your own direction with this, okay? Especially too with expansion, I think like maybe you're even, for some of you I'm hearing it might even be like a work-related project where you're kind of like stuck on this team with these people that are just not getting along. And so it's like the good news would be that you're like moving away from that conflicting energy. Like either you're taken off the project to do something new somewhere else, or like it's an expansion type project, or for some reason I'm hearing that is just like becoming a non-concern for you. So part of the good news too might be that it's like spirit almost kind of telling you want to worry about this situation anymore. Like something will come along that will resolve this. I think because, be it through the mechanism of you choosing like the emotional direction. If you do want some advice from this reading, that's what I would say from spirit, is go with the emotional direction. But yeah, it's like harmony coming your way too, especially because of embracing differences. So another relief might be that if it's people that are butting heads over which way to go, they're going to like get along at some point, or there's going to be some direction found out. Okay, that's going to be like, okay, finally we agree on this. We can finally make progress forward on this thing I really want to do, or this thing I really want to expand on. We're not stuck in the nitty-gritty details as much anymore, because those conflicts have been swept out of the way, hence release, okay? Same thing too if it's like an internal conundrum, not so much other people, because, say you're trying to figure out, do I go with what my heart says, mind says, my ambitions say, etc. Same thing. You're going to soon glimpse a path forward towards what you really want from this situation, towards this dream. And I think, like I said, to overcome hardship, especially maybe in finances or career, because of that 5 of Pentacles here. Interesting. So if I had to summarize everything so far, pile 2, it's like you are going to leave a lot of chaos behind. That's part of the good news. You're going to be able to let go of what seems to be kind of a chaotic time, especially if other people are involved, as I said in the very beginning, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. Everyone needs to like simmer down and maybe just like let you cook, let you decide, instead of trying to like insert their opinions everywhere. Which, I mean, it's great that they're invested and they want to help. But sometimes it just makes it really confusing and hard for you to make decisions, right? So I'm interested, though, for those of you that you're recognizing this as a group of people. I want to know, like, why it comes to a harmony. Like, why does this finally come to a harmony? Although I recognize that some of you aren't necessarily resonating with this reading, or you in the future won't. because these aren't necessarily people. So I'm trying to think of a question to ask for you guys too. Let's first ask, for those of you that this is like a group of people and you're recognizing who these people are. Spirit, can you tell me more about like why do they come to Harmony? Like why is this released? Maybe 1 or 2 cards. Why are they released? Why does it come to Harmony? What's the mechanism that causes that for pile 2? We have Justice. Okay, there's something about fairness coming in that will finally just to get the cooks to all shut up, I guess. I mean, not shut up in like, well, that sounds kind of negative. I don't mean it as in like, maybe you don't want them to not give you their opinions, pile number 2, but it's something that kind of comes through and is like, okay, but this is the fair way to go. And then everyone is just like, oh, okay. And then they let go of that opinion, or like their, not necessarily, I guess, of the opinion, but of their need to be right, or their need to be like, yes, we go with my opinion, or my direction. And then we have another court card, the King of Swords reversed. I almost wonder if a greater authority in the situation comes forward and says, okay, I'm going to make the final decision. Bam. And then it basically outweighs everyone else's opinion. Because they're like especially with the Justice card pile too, it almost feels like they're like the judge with the gavel. So maybe this might even be like a legal related thing. Maybe that's possibly why Justice came up. In which case, if it's like legal, it could be literally like the judge. But if not literally the judge in this situation, it's someone who acts as like the final gavel hitter in the situation. Like, smack, okay, there we go. We're going with this idea, this decision. Let's keep going forward. And that's kind of what releases it. For those of you where you're not seeing this so much as a group of people, and it's more like different conflicting thoughts that are pulling you in different directions with the goal or the dream that you're trying to work on to overcome hardship here, maybe even to create a new beginning and expand. I'm going to ask for you guys, what's the mechanism by which that occurs? Okay, so we're kind of splitting this reading actually into 2 groups, but that's okay. That happens with general readings sometimes. So, Spirit, for those watching pile 2 that are seeing this resonating more, not as other people, too many cooks in the kitchen, but like different conflicting opinions internally, what's the mechanism by which they see like the clear path forward with this new beginning, letting go of this? Like, what happens that causes that clarity? Okay. First, we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed, letting go of legacy. Interesting. It could be possibly pile 2 that one factor in this, for those of you, this is not people, it's more like an internal conundrum, that you are maybe holding on to the way things have been done before, but like you see a new beginning or you see a new way out because you're like, well, do I always have to do it the way that it's always been done? Because I say that because the 10 of Pentacles tends to represent legacy. Okay, something that's been passed down, maybe even like something that was given to you and you're like, well, what do I do with this? And so the fear or the conundrum you've been having is like, okay, well, I've been given this thing. I need to nurture it. I need to keep growing whatever this is. I inherited it, either literally or quote unquote. So how do I honor this and how do I keep going forward with this? And the answer in that way, pile 2, is go forward with it in the way that you want to, in the way that is new and refreshing. Okay, that's one mechanism by which this clarity comes about. And then we have the Magician. Our willpower, gathering our resources. And, in this particular situation, a magician to me, pile 2, would represent someone that is manifesting or trying to attain a goal through their own means and not so much the means of other, like, not necessarily the way that other people have always done things, especially in conjunction with the 10 of Pentacles reversed coming out next to it. Okay, so for you guys, where this is the internal conflict type thing, too many cooks in the kitchen in terms of your thoughts or, potential directions you could take. The good news is you're going to come across a time of realization that you don't have to do it the way that it's always been done. You can take the direction with this that you want to, okay? Because this is a lot of energy here, especially with the Magician, of what do you want? Because the Magician works out of his own willpower. No one else is involved. He's creating things with his own energy, with the resources that he's collected. And some of you too, maybe the other cooks in the kitchen, even in this particular section of the reading today, like for those of you that this part of it or this interpretation resonates, the other cooks in the kitchen could technically be like maybe other people trying to tell you what to do. Okay, even if it's not necessarily that they have like a direct influence on whether or not you take their advice or not, in which case you're being advised, pile 2, to then choose your own direction. What do you want? Okay, and the good news in that situation, for those of you that resonate with that, would be that will bring you to a good conclusion or to the manifestation of the goal that you're trying to attain. Okay, so the good news is the removal for everyone watching this, no matter what section of the reading you resonated with, is the removal of other energies masking the clarity and you gaining the ability to go forward and chase this goal, to overcome these hardships through your own willpower, through your own ability to, and like your own choices. Okay. So really it's like the clearing away of the fog and you being given a tool to, it's almost like a good news in terms of you being given like a metaphorical torch or lantern to light the way. Okay. All right. A new torch or lantern to light the way. Interesting. And for every single one of you, that torch or lantern of understanding, that clarity will be different, but just know that that clarity is coming, pile 2, and that's part of your good news for today. Interesting. So I apologize. We kind of had a split of reading today, but I tend to try to interpret for different situations because these are general readings. So I hope at least part of that resonated with some of you, even though maybe one pile maybe didn't, or one half of the reading didn't necessarily resonate. Maybe the other half did. So anyways, in any case, I hope the reading helped you. That's what I care about most with these readings. And if it did, if you liked it, if it resonated, please, like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill by now with YouTube. And thank you so much if you choose to do any one of those 3 things, if not more. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile 2, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about the good news you will be thankful for. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to Tarot for the Great Outdoors for your pile leader deck. Okay, so very beautiful autumnal scene. We have some mushrooms growing. Now, when we pick with pile leader decks, I like to put the main card right back into the deck so it is available for the message if need be. And speaking of, let's draw your tarot spread right now to begin. So calling on Spirit for the highest best good of pile 3 today. Could you tell us a little bit more about the good news you want them to know? What good is coming their way? Ooh, not my best shuffle there. Let's try that one more time. All right, are we ready? Better shuffle. Okay, I lied. I got butterfingers today. Shuffled enough, though, because we do shuffle this way, too. All right. My shuffling inefficiencies aside, we already have one card that came out. Thank you, Spirit. Here's number 2, number 3, 4, and I'm feeling this one for number 5. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards to begin. So we have the Queen of Sticks, or Wands as she's known in most decks. Wonderful. We have someone who is confident, someone who is ambitious, especially in internal ways. Let's look at your next card. The 10 of Vessels, or Cups as it's known in most decks, which is the card of happily ever afters and emotional satisfaction, hence the rainbow in the background. And then, ooh, we have a major arcana with the Emperor with Yosemite National Park. Oh, you know what? Pile number 3. I know not all the cards are on the table, so maybe I'm speaking a little bit too soon, but I almost wonder if part of the good news is something about a leadership position, especially because of the Queen of Wands with the Emperor in your spread, but let's keep looking. I won't speak too soon. Okay, 7 of Wands, or Sticks. Building shelter, defending ourselves. Another autumnal scene, so beautiful. And then last but not least, we have, ooh, the Moon reversed with Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve. Illusions being revealed for what they really are. So we have a bit of deception. or illusion, I should say, not deception, because it's a negative connotation in this reading as well. And when I say deception or illusion, pile number 3, what I mean is something is not what it seems with this. I feel like this good news of what this is going to be very unexpected for you because of that moon energy that just popped out with the moon reversed. Wonderful. I'm excited for you. Okay, so let's grab your oracle cards. I'll keep talking about your tarot cards as we draw those. Oh, there we go. I shuffled that deck better. Spirit, anything else you want to say to pile 3 about this? All right, already this one was like flying out, so I'm going to take it quite quick. I feel like a lot of you have been preparing a lot for this, though, too. But at the same time, with you preparing for it, it's still really unexpected, because it's one of those situations that feels to me intuitively, pile 3, of like, oh, it's too good to be true. Like, you kind of expected it in terms of you prepared, but it was one of those long shot situations of like, well, I don't know, it's kind of a long shot, I don't know. That's at least the intuitive sensation I'm getting. Especially that Emperor energy here in the middle. That is a leadership energy, especially when it comes to masculine energy pursuits, which, you know, doesn't matter what your gender is. Everyone has masculine and feminine energy, at least in my opinion. And so masculine energy in this situation would convey like control or authority, or like adding structure to something. Could also be defining something even more, so that was kind of nebulous before. And then we also have the cat wisdom deck. I thought a cat deck would be cute for a thankful reading, so. And I'm going to draw this one. We have a little, ooh, it's a ginger kitty. Oh, so cute. We have courage. Let's read that one to begin. So pile 3. Your courage card with the ginger kitten says, you are being challenged to do what you know is right. Draw on your inner bravery and move forward decisively and with confidence, knowing that there are no mistakes, only experiences from which to learn and grow. Step up to the plate when the time is right, and your courage will see you succeed. Yes. Makes 100% sense. Because, pile number 3, you have the Queen of Wands. And the number 1 keyword I would use with the Queen of Wands here, especially because this is your inciting incident card, pile 3 today, is courage. She's someone who is confident. She's someone who is ambitious. She says, here's a challenge. I'm just going to pummel right through the challenge, okay? She's not afraid to say what she wants. She's not afraid to go for what she wants either, okay? There's a situation here with good news where courage has been your friend, or that you will be, like, perhaps right now you're feeling a bit not so courageous about it. As I said before, pile 3, I think so far maybe you've been feeling the sensation of like, well, it's kind of too good to be true. I'll prepare for it, but I don't know. Like, for an example, some of you might have auditioned for something and you're like, wow, it's kind of a long shot that I'll get the role, but I'll try it anyways. Or it could also be, say you interviewed for a promotion in a different position at a different department at your company, just as another example, and you're like, well, you know, kind of a long shot, I don't know. Same thing. It's something like that in your life that's going on right now, where your courage, despite your hesitance, will be rewarded. So wherever you've been courageous recently, pile 3, this is where this blessing is coming from. Okay, and don't deceive yourself. Remember that moon reverse at the very end. Don't deceive yourself. It is not too good to be true. Okay, so from the dream ritual, we have, gratitude. Yes. And also we have the new moon here. So the new moon tends to represent new beginnings, at least in the way I interpret it in symbolism. Gratitude and a new beginning. So it's like you're starting something new as well with this. And then the Nature's Whispers today is, show your support, number 40. Interesting card to have received. We'll talk about that in a moment. And last but not least with the, we've got the dolphins with Sacred Destiny. We have happiness. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, pile 3. I mean, you can kind of already see this from the cards that popped out, but very positive thing coming forward for you with this good news. Something that will bring you happiness, something that you'll be grateful for. As I said, there's that new energy, especially with the new moon in your Dream Ritual Oracle card. I already explained, it's something coming out of your bravery. It's something that you've been courageous about, and your courage will be rewarded. Or if some of you are being like, well, I haven't been brave about something recently. What are you talking about? Then in your case, pile 3, this reading would more resonate in a way of like, I think this opportunity for you to be brave is coming, and Spirit is telling you when that opportunity comes, act with the energy of the Queen of Wands, pile 3. Be brave and courageous. Don't talk yourself out of it. Go for it. And then you'll be rewarded. Okay, so for some of you, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I know where this is coming from. Some of you might be like, oh, what are you talking about? That case, as I said, this is something that's coming in the near future for you to take the opportunity to be brave, and you will be justly rewarded for it. Okay, now some of you are probably wondering, like, well, what is the reward? Okay, because that's also part of the good news. It's not just here's the opportunity coming or here's the reward. You want to know what the reward is. Something to do with leadership, as I said. Something that will make you very happy. I think, too, with show your support. Now, that typically would be like an advice card, but in a good news reading, I would almost see that as like people supporting you maybe more than you expected them to in this situation. Like, say if it was like an audition for, I don't know, like a theater play or a musical, maybe you didn't think anyone would like root for you in terms of the people that were viewing the auditions, you know, or it doesn't have to be musical theater. It could be maybe even you're an actor. Same thing. You're like, I don't know, long shot. You might get more support than you're expecting. And 2, especially for those of you that are auditioning for something, when I say leader, what I mean is probably like a leading role. Okay, so that's the good news for those of you that are like, say, in theater, music type stuff or like acting and whatnot. You know, say you're in a creative role that's not necessarily acting though. It could be like a leadership in terms of like getting into like a gallery if you're an artist, or in music, it could be leadership and happiness in the way of being noticed for your music. For those of you that have a career that's not necessarily creative, it could also be leadership in terms of, as I said before, as an example, a promotion of some sort is coming your way that will allow you greater leadership capacity. Okay. And it's weird here with that 7 of Wands, though. I will say there's a little bit of weird thing here. Because the 7 of Wands in the near future position, pile 3, to me means a feeling of defensiveness, a feeling of like I have to build shelter for myself. So it might be a bit delayed. I will tell you that in terms of between when you hear the good news, like in like life rather than just from this reading, right? Because I think for a while you might feel a bit disappointed because you don't necessarily hear back immediately. And so that's what I mean when I say defensiveness with the 7 of Wands. You might first kind of start building up your walls of like, oh, well, I didn't want it anyways, or, oh, well, I'll just keep trying somewhere else. But don't let that dash your hopes, pile 3. Because I think the silence or the lack of immediate answer or the lack of an immediate yes, that is what is deceptive here with that moon reversed, because the outcome is the moon reversed, aka the illusion is unveiled. Oh, that was bigger than I thought, or I did get a better result than I thought. Okay, so you're sitting here like disappointed and you're like, oh man, I wanted this leadership role. I wanted this happily ever after. It's my dream. You know, dang it. I'm not hearing back. Okay, back to my walls of, you know, well, okay, it's fine. I wasn't going to get it anyways. And then boom, the moon reverse comes out and you're like, oh, I got that call. Okay. I was deceiving myself, or the situation was deceiving me. Now my courage is rewarded. Okay. And I'm grateful and I am happy. 2, I think part of it, especially with show your support, I did touch on that already a little bit. There's someone helping you behind the scenes more than you're expecting. I think especially for those of you that are like interviewing, or you auditioned for something, or just, as I always say, take it as it resonates to your situation. There's someone that is in the judgment position, be it the hiring manager or whoever reviews the auditions, who is more on your side than you expect. They might not have come off that way when you performed or tried to do the audition or whatever, etc., interviewed. But I say that because you have a lot of cards here that have people kind of in the background that you're not, or it's like people that are in pairs. Okay, so like show your support obviously is like one. Like someone who is big here, big here in the show your support is holding up a smaller figure. Okay. Like, there's one main big support for you behind the scenes that you're not expecting. And there's, like, other people involved, like little birds here watching. But they're the one that's really holding you up. They're like, I really see the way pile 3 shines. I think they would be perfect for this role or whatever this acceptance type thing is. And same thing, too. Like, look at dolphins here in happiness. That, to me, pile 3 is, like, someone that's really of a kin mind, who is a lot like you. And they're like, oh, man, I'm going to click with pile 3 so well. They're perfect for this role or this job, etc. Okay, same thing too, even with the Queen of Wands. I just noticed this. And let me look at the Ten of Cups too. Mostly in the Queen of Wands here, we have someone who performed confidently, because that's the energy of the Queen of Wands. As I said, she's a queen of courage. But you have someone in the back that's watching. They're like, oh, she chopped that wood really well. Huh. So I want to say, I think it's a feminine energy who is supportive of you more than you expect, because a lot of these energies have been, especially with the Queen of Wands, it tends to mean feminine energy, right? But that doesn't always necessarily mean, like, I don't read tarot for gender necessarily. I always read for energy. So just someone who is of high feminine energy. Okay. Gender aside. Could also be technically someone that's a fire sign as well with feminine energy, because that's the Queen of Wands. Too, even like the ginger cat makes me think of fire energy, right? Maybe redheaded, hence the ginger cat. Let me look at the hair colors of everyone else. I mean, black and blonde. He's kind of blonde. Then we also have a fox here, which makes me think of red hair. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you're like, oh my god, I know who this red-haired person is. This person with ginger hair. Yeah, I do want to ask just in one final question for you, pile 3, kind of the after effects of this good news. Because the good news, number 1, is the acceptance. Okay, that's basically, to summarize your reading, is you're getting an acceptance of some sort. But I do also want to ask Spirit, like, what comes from this, okay, other than the obvious, you know, you got the role or you got the job. Let me look here. Spirit, can you tell me more about, like, what good comes from this physically, or like in a tangible way after they're accepted? I mean, obviously the acceptance will feel really great, but maybe you're kind of wondering, pile 3, or at least if I were you, this is what I would be wondering, is like, well, what comes after that? We have the 8 of Wands. Okay, something going faster. Okay, the 8 of Wands upright, especially pile 3, is about things going very quickly. That could mean like your career, or like your move up the ladder, so to speak, going really quickly, more than you expected. Okay, so this is almost like fast success too. That's part of what comes from this. And then we also have the 7 of Swords. So many cards that are about, like, deception. It's not what it seems. I almost wonder, too, if you think that this promotion or role or whatever this acceptance is like, oh, it's just small game, or it's just like, I don't know. But it's deceptive, because you've got 2 cards that are about things not being what they seem. Because it's like it's bigger than it actually looks like. Okay. And then, too, especially with this particular depiction of the 7 of Swords, we have mountain goats, right? And as we know, they like to headbutt. Haven't been around them much myself, so anyone in the comments, please correct me if that's wrong. But from what I've heard, they tend to headbutt. Sometimes they're a little bit more aggressive, no matter how cute they are. And so interpreting that, it's almost like not just the deception reading, but also an interpretation of, like, someone that's more, like, aggressively pushing you forward. I think that's part of the speed, too, with the 8 of Wands. I don't know, you really have someone in your corner, is what I want to say. And then let's draw the last card here, pile 3. Yes, the Queen of Swords. Okay, once again, feminine energy. That's Spirit reconfirming that this is probably someone with lots of feminine energy who's in your corner. But then it can also mean, like, there's something here with either a person that is feminine energy in an air sign that, like, this leads you to as a part of the tangible benefit. That could also represent you, though, pile 3. Where some of the tangible benefit with the Queen of Swords would be a situation where you are looked at as someone with intelligence, number 1, someone with logic, someone that is, well, also, too, so if this is, like, acting for some of you, air sign or air energy in tarot is really good communication, which is, once again, great for acting because your whole job is to communicate things, right? Effectively. It's like communicating more to the world, communicating more strongly. It's almost like, especially too with the queen energy, which is internal energy, feminine energy. It's like a chance to actually speak something more from deep inside. Like a role that you're more aligned with in terms of your mind, like what stimulates your mind too. And maybe that's why you thought it was such a long shot. You're like, oh man, well, this would be the dream, but I don't know. And then you get it, and then boom, this fast movement happens. People are like pushing you into the light. And you have that opportunity here for something that actually like you're interested in it intellectually, or like stimulates you. It's something exciting, okay? Just like, literally, she's snowboarding. It's like something exciting, something fun. So, really good news, pile number 3. In fact, I think you probably have the best news of all 3 piles today. Of course, every pile, it was a good news reading. But you especially, I'm like, woo. So, for those of you that are recognizing the situation, congratulations. If it resonates with you, pat yourself on the back. You're getting some really good news soon about this situation. So, alrighty. Even if it is a little deceptive at first, remember, don't be disheartened by silence for a little while. Just because something is silent doesn't mean that something isn't thinking or happening in the background, okay? So when you start feeling those walls go up and you're like, oh, well, I didn't hear back yet, nothing's happening, doesn't necessarily mean that nothing is happening, okay? So just hold out hope. All right, that's your good news reading for today, my wonderful pile 3. If it resonated with you, and the number 1, if it helped you, that's what I care about most with my readings. If you walked away feeling helped, please like, comment, subscribe. You know the spiel, the whole YouTube drill. I don't need to remind you, you know how it works. But thank you so much if you choose to do any one of those 3 things, if not all 3. And as our tradition on, I was going to say Pine Tarot. Lone Pine Tarot, there we go. Can't remember my own channel name apparently today. Between that and shuffling, shuffling hasn't been the best today either. Anyways, as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I got it out. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 3.